cast out all fear. When you trust God with your life,
I know people
in
that don't
fact,
trust
you
God.
give your life to God, you find you're capable of anything.
Brett
Walking
gave his
across
life to
water.
God.
And I don't mean icy water, I'm talking about taking the leap of faith to do things that will serve God, not
about
in a
Brett up
religious
here?
way, a fundamentalism, but in a really honest and sincere, righteous way of getting into people's lives and bringing the light with you. Opening up their hearts and their eyes to the world around them, because it's narrowness of mind and of spirit that become the oppressor of our people. We don't listen to our own hearts and minds, we listen to the law and order moguls, the people who have you in slavery. We're turning out prostitutes and slaves.
I'll get you.
Admit it to yourselves. We don't give them freedoms and rights and options and choices. We give them obligations, duties and responsibilities before they even know what a nappy is. Before they get their own nappy off virtually. Seriously, we're teaching our children that the purpose of life is to own, to acquire, to materially better ourselves, and live in this vague hope that things will change. The time comes in your life when you've got to take it as it is and get on with that. And the time comes when you've got to choose what direction you're headed. And that's where inspiration is important. The other thing that's important in change is consensus amongst our leaders. We've got people who live in Canberra permanently, and I don't mean in the sense of location, but in their minds. We've got to destroy religion and destroy politics so that people can be people. Because it's always when there's a crisis, it's the people who respond. The politicians come in later and throw money around, make themselves like big men, but they're not. They're just deceivers. They've been doing this for so long, they actually believe in their honesty. They're not honest men. They are at best duplicitous in the confusion that reigns on our planet. They don't want the truth. They don't care for the truth because the truth undermines their authority. And when people are afraid, have you noticed about people when they're afraid, they put up the walls. In the case of our government, they put the thumb on the people's freedoms. They oppress them. They introduce more laws, more prohibitions. Why? Because they are afraid themselves. And they realise that one day the people will say, hey, you were supposed to be leading us somewhere, not into a global warming abyss. And they're frightened of that day. So they bring out more laws. And if there's any disturbance, they'll bring out another law. They'll listen to an old wives' tale and bring out another law. Because they're convenience operators, these jokers. They operate from convenience to satisfy their own ambition. Look, seriously, I could stand out here for 100 years talking this stuff. They're just words until you open your ears. And there are none as dumb and deaf and blind as those people who remain without nose and without ears and without eyes. You've got to be able to use your senses to learn. Otherwise, you're just a moronic consumer. You've got to choose what you are seen as in the sight of God and the sight of your own fellow man, your brothers and sisters in this community. We're divided against one another, and they're saying, I don't. You can't talk about the differences between us. You can't talk about and debate those things that are making us a more divided community. Because I know we don't want to talk about the truth. We don't want to get it out in the open because we've not learned how to talk properly with respect. We're failing to communicate because it doesn't mean anything to us. Well, I can tell you straight away, very soon, it's going to mean a hell of a lot to you people how you can live together. You're going to learn a lot of very important life's lessons about sharing and collectivism and the need for sharing our environment and our resources. Because they're running out. You've seen how people wail about a few cents extra in the oil price to fuel your petroleum. You're too blind to see that it's already going up on the world scale, but you'll complain to the government. Fix it. Now, how are you going to ask your government when the global warming crisis becomes so evident and so catastrophic You say to your government, oh, why didn't you fix it? Fix it. No, they can't fix it. The only ones who can fix it are we, the people. And you're going to have to make those choices, no decisions to live collectively. And you're going to have to facilitate change if you're a politician and a community leader. You're going to have to give people a chance to choose between consumerism and this flawed system, this unsustainable system, and an alternative lifestyle and a frontier in the world beyond fossil fuel. If you don't show people how it's done, they will never find the way. They'll never see it. You'll have people wander around, and I'm warning you right now, our days are getting shorter, and I don't mean the sun up and sun down. You've got a very short time to start pressing your government, and I do hope they're listening if they're spying, as we know they do. We've got 23 cameras in our park down the road here. They're so afraid of the marijuana epidemic. So afraid of the violence epidemic. I swear, there is so much greed and hate out there, and it's reflected in their children's anger because they're being denied opportunity and forced into service industries. Exploitation and a waste of their life, waste of energy, because those jobs are dead-end jobs. There's no satisfaction for a man who enjoys and needs physical work in serving tables and kissing asses. He wants work that he can be proud of, that he can go home tired after, and say to the kids, I feel brave and strong. Because we need to have our character restored to us in this country. We've been listening to everyone about us. What do we need? What do we want? What should we be? How should we be? America. Lord, I don't want to be American any more than I want to be a zombie comatose in the hospital with a gang bashing me or something. You know what I mean? I don't want to be American any more than I want to be African or North American or Hindu or anyone else. I want to be Australian. I want to know what Australian is. We're not showing them what Australian is. We're showing them a clone of America. And who says we need Big Brother America to look after us? The fatal flaw in an alliance is when they do all the dictating and we do all the fighting. I remember Australians saying, how often do we say our blokes are brave? It is not brave to be ordered into a machine gun and be slaughtered in the thousands while your pommy mates, your elite, sit on their ass. That's not bravery, that's stupidity. Let's get the truth. Charging into bloody machine guns because some jerk's got a problem somewhere else is not bravery. Facing your environmental crisis by relying on your government is also not bravery. It's bloody stupid. They ain't got the answers because they don't listen to God. They don't listen to the Father, the source of all inspiration, wisdom.
Check your bag if you're going there.
And all that you ever will aspire to comes from one source. The great, immaculate, eternal Spirit of God. Now you throw it all away and say, oh no, we can do it like communists, socialists. We don't need God. We've got all the answers. They've only got answers because they got mineral resources and energy resources. When they're stolen off us, and I tell you, the day comes, if we can justify going into a country on a lie, and you've seen it, the Secretary, the President's Secretary, I've been lying on their behalf. Well, how do you react to it when you get told someone's been lying to you and your lads are getting murdered in the jungles, the suburbs of bloody Iraq? Baghdad, like they were in Vietnam, they don't even learn from their mistakes. In fact, they try and turn a failure into a success by rewording it, rejigging it. A few photos, a bit of a film clip, and they won the war in Vietnam. They didn't. They won one war. It was a just war, and you know what they say in the Bible about you can lose every battle to inevitably win the war because you're righteous. You walk with God and you fight with God.
Oh yeah, I know.